Hey everyone, welcome back to the Just Start Talking podcast, the place where English learners like you get the tools, tips, and confidence to actually start speaking. Whether you're learning English for travel, for work, or just to finally feel comfortable chatting with native speakers, this show is all about making English fun, simple, and part of your everyday life. Today's episode is especially exciting, and honestly, it's kind of fun because we're talking about something we all love: TV shows. That's right. If you've ever felt stuck with boring textbooks or grammar drills, you're going to love this episode. We're diving into 5 of the best American TV shows to help you learn English, improve your listening skills, and sound more like a native speaker. So grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's jump right in. So, why are TV shows such a powerful tool for learning English? So before we get into actual TV shows, let's talk really quick about why TV shows are such a great way to learn English. TV is one of the easiest ways to expose yourself to real, natural English. Not the stiff, formal stuff you find in textbooks. With TV, you hear the way people actually talk, the jokes they tell, the slang they might use, expressions, even sarcasm. Plus, you're learning in context, which makes it easier to remember new words and phrases. And here's the best part. You don't even really need to study while watching. Just turn on an episode with subtitles and watch. Then watch it again. And maybe even watch it again after that. In this case, repetition helps lock it in. Okay, let's get into the list. The first TV show is Friends. And it's a classic and honestly probably one of the most recommended shows for English learners. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Isn't that a show from the 90s? Well, yes, it is. But guess what? It still holds up, and it's one of the easiest shows to follow if you're learning English. And the language in this show is pretty simple. The jokes are clear, and the situations, they tend to be super relatable. Relationships, work drama, hanging out with friends. It's everyday life, and that means everyday language for you. You'll pick up idioms like break up, freak out, or hit on someone. Plus, you'll get a good sense of sarcasm, tone, and how English speakers joke around casually. A pro tip here: start with the subtitles in your native language, then switch to English subtitles when you're feeling more confident. Then try watching the show without any subtitles at all in English. It's like a mini workout for your ears and brain. And it's a pretty good show at that. My next recommendation is a show called The Office, and it's kind of one of my personal favorites. However, be sure to watch the US version of The Office. This show takes place in a very average American office. Okay, and what's so great about it? Well, it shows how people really interact at work. The small talk they use, the jokes, awkward silences, and all those little details that make conversations feel real. Plus, the episodes are they're pretty short, so they're very easy to fit into your typical day. And you'll hear a lot of workplace vocabulary and phrases like deadline, meeting, promotion, and plenty of very casual slang. Michael Scott is the main character, and he is, let's just say, unique. His awkwardness is not just funny, it actually teaches you a lot about tone and how not to sound in certain situations. Watching The Office is like getting a crash course in American workplace culture and casual English. So now we come to number 3 on my list, a show called Modern Family. And this one is awesome for a few reasons. First of all, it has a pretty big cast with characters from different generations, so you tend to hear a variety of speaking styles. You know, you have teenagers, you have parents, and then you have the grandparents involved. And that's huge for learning English and how English changes depending on people's ages and their personalities. Second of all, the family dynamics in this show are hilarious and emotional. So you really get to see how English is used at home when people are arguing, joking, apologizing, or just sharing how they feel. This show throws in a lot of cultural references, slang, and emotional expressions. If you've ever wondered how people really talk in their families in English, this is definitely your show. Fourth on my list is a show called How I Met Your Mother. This one is similar to Friends, but with a more modern twist. It's about a group of friends living in New York City, navigating careers, dating, and all the ups and downs associated with adult life. What's really great about this show is that it uses a lot of modern slang, pop culture references, and funny expressions that are super common in everyday American conversation. It also has a storytelling format where things are often repeated or called back to in later episodes. That type of repetition actually helps you remember new words and phrases, a lot more easily. And if you're looking to improve your intonation and timing when you speak, this show is great for that. The characters tend to speak quickly but clearly, and their conversations are full of rhythm and natural flow. Again, it really helps with timing and intonation. Finally, we come to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, 5th on my list. This show is a police comedy that's both fast-paced and funny. At first, you might think the dialogue is a little too quick, but don't worry. The characters speak clearly, and the humor, really helps you stay engaged. What makes this show special is how it mixes action, teamwork, and problem-solving language. So while you're laughing, you're also picking up vocabulary associated with crime, justice, teamwork, and friendship. In addition, the show features a super diverse cast, which means you'll hear a range of accents and speech styles. This is good for training your ears to different ways English is spoken. And honestly, it's just a really fun show to watch. So, now that we have your list, how do you actually use these shows to improve your English? Don't worry, I have a few easy tips for you. First of all, use the subtitles wisely. Start with subtitles in your native language if needed, then switch to English. And then maybe try watching without subtitles later on. Next, repeat episodes. Don't watch just once. Rewatching the same episodes helps you notice new words and expressions each time. Then, the shadowing technique. Try repeating what the characters say right after they say it. This will help your pronunciation and rhythm. Next, write down any new words and phrases that you come across. Keeping a notebook or app where you collect new slang, idioms, or just cool expressions helps you practice using them later in your own conversations. Finally, don't be afraid to pause and mimic. When you hear a phrase you like, pause the video and say it out loud. Try to copy the tone, speed, and expression. TV isn't just entertainment, it's like a language lab, and it's open 24/7 for you. So, I have some final thoughts and a mini call to action for you guys. So here you have it. The TV shows we talked about: Friends, The Office, Modern Family, How I Met Your Mother, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. These 5 shows are not just funny or entertaining, but super useful for learning English, the way it's actually spoken. And if you want to boost your vocabulary, improve your listening, and sound more natural, just pick one of these shows and start watching. Even 20 minutes a day can make a huge difference for yourself. And remember, the goal isn't to understand everything all at once. Just keep watching, keep listening, and you'll be amazed at how much your brain starts soaking it all up. Before I go, what show has helped you the most with your English? Maybe it's something on this list, or maybe it's something totally different. Send me a message, leave a comment, or tag the show on social media with your answer. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Just Start Talking podcast. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to follow the podcast and share it with your fellow English language learners. Keep watching, keep listening, and as always, just start talking. We'll catch you later in the next episode. Bye.